Hmm. Hello, goblins. It's Chris, Eldritch Pipes. It's an episode of this week's Pipes. And tobacco review. I'm smoking Freeborg and Treyer's Vanner's mixture. Interesting. Alright. So, it's a Virginia with some Cavendish. It's just a ribbon cut. And smells lovely in the tin. Just like a sweet hay. Sweet hay. It is. I'll say the best things about it first. It's very inoffensive. Unlike the Black Cavendish. Unlike Blackjack from last week, there's no acrid notes. It's just very mildly sweet. Not like flavour. It's very like a generic sweetness. You couldn't put your finger on it. You couldn't even say vanilla. It's definitely not got that flavour. It just has a sweetness. It burns nicely. It's slightly buttery. There's kind of like a mellow smoothness. But there's really not a lot going on. This is like it's definitely a step up from Blackjack that I wasn't that impressed with. Blackjack could do with a couple of years in the tin. This could definitely do with some years in the tin to add some funk, get the complexity up a little. And although there's no acrid elements, I think it could do with a little mellowing out still further. So yeah, there's still a kind of sort of a hot air quality to this. Not a lot of depth. No depth. So it's really the shame about these blends, these last two for sure. I think they're really designed to be aged. In other words, really, in sort of like the golden age of tobacco, they would have already been aged before they were put in the tin. That doesn't happen anymore. So we're expected to just sell them ourselves, which is fine. I do a fair amount of that already. But I would say like straight out of the tin, there's not a lot going on here. Unless you're looking for just a really uncomplicated summer blend. And I guess this could fit something like that. Maybe. I think you'd have to be a Virginia lover in all of its forms to really go for this one in its current state. What it's really missing is a sprinkle of Perique. And I can't help feeling that what the Fribourg and Treya offering lacks is a vapour. I've now smoked what? 4 straight Virginia blends? Only one of them is special. That's the Vintage Flake. The blended cut plug was all right. Needs some time to mature. The Blackjack needs a lot of time to mature. And Vanna's mixture needs some time to mature. These are all very subtle variants on a theme, with only Vintage Flake really standing out. Yeah, I think it's only Vintage Flake that I'll be buying another tin of. But if you're curious of all Virginia blends, then I would say pick Vanna's mixture over Blackjack. That's the way I'd go. But there we go. I'll be sending samples of that out to whoever gets a pipe from me next. Actually, I know who that is. Joseph Rice. You'll be getting a healthy dose of Blackjack or Vanna's mixture, one or the other. Enjoy! Before I move on to the pipes, I noticed on a Facebook forum, someone was talking about sour pipes and how to sweeten them. And there was like 100 comments on there already, so I didn't get involved. But I thought I will mention sour pipes. Right. Because really, it's not about how to sweeten, it's about what is the cause of a sour pipe. And really, in my experience, there is only one main cause of a sour pipe. Maybe 2, but one main one. And the main one is, this is generally almost exclusively for people who smoke compressed tobacco, so flakes, coins, cut plug, those kind of compressed tobacco forms. And what can happen is you ram that into your pipe, have a smoke, and then don't fully scrape the bowl out. Probably it's because maybe you're trying to establish a cake or something like that. Of course, that is something you want to do because the cake protects the briar. But with the compressed tobacco form, what can happen is that you just wind up leaving unsmoked tobacco around the chamber. Just old tobacco. And then you put in your next blend and you smoke that, and just you never ever remove the unsmoked stale tobacco from around the chamber. And so that's what you've got to get out. You've got to soak it in alcohol and scrape it back to briar, or to a very, very thin carbon layer. And make sure that it is a carbon layer, not a layer of tobacco. And if you do that, you should never get a sour pipe. The only other thing is that if you tend to smoke a pipe wet, so if you're smoking a lot of aromatics and you're not wiping the goop out of the bottom after every smoke, that can get nasty quickly. So if you do that, or maybe like classically like a Peterson full bent, those will just smoke really wet anyway. Almost no matter what tobacco you smoke in them. And so you need to be drying, wiping your pipes out with some paper towel and a pipe cleaner. And your pipes will be fine. All right. This week's pipes. One mention to the Speakeasy Pipe Club, Pipe Forum Club. I'm now a good bit over halfway making the pipe of the year for you guys. And a lot of you will have been wondering, you'll have seen a lot of the strawberries, I'm going to see more today, been wondering when am I going to start the Slenderman pipes. And I've been a little bit vague. I said they're coming. I wasn't exactly sure when I was going to start them. Now I know. Next week, you'll start to see the first Slenderman rolling off the Eldritch production line next week. And then it's Slenderman all the way to the finish line. But for now, the last few strawberries. So the Cordovan Sandblast with the earth and ivory stem. I've been really quite pleased with the sandblasts I've been getting. Ever since I not upgraded, but ever since I swapped out the old gun that had worn out and put the new gun in, it's just, to my eye, it's really made a difference. Lots and lots of detail. Lots of ring grain. Quite tightly packed ring grain. Getting towards craggy. Nice piece of earth and ivory there. Just doing like a swoop. So this does kind of exactly what I look for in a sandblast, which is the spider web. Which is you got the straight grain coming down with the ring grain arcing across. That is, for me, that's kind of like what the strawberry is about. So, very pleased with that guy. I won't spend too long on this guy because it's more of the same. But, again, nice, detailed blast. There we go. I've literally got one more strawberry to make. One more, that's all the strawberries done. And then I'll start shipping. I think I'm going to start shipping either start of July or maybe middle of July. I just have to work out how sort of fast I'll be making them. So when I start shipping, I'll be shipping in at regular intervals until they're all with you guys. Well, until they're all with Morgan. Who will then disperse to individual folks. But this week's commission actually is, ironically, a Slender Man. Obviously not in the club colours, in a Guinness finish. Look at the ring grain on that fellow. It's mad for it. The spider web going off crazy there. A pretty wild plateau rim. And the Guinness stamp. So I suppose this guy might act as a sort of preview, because it's a Slender Man. I'm actually really looking forward to doing the Slender Men now. They've been looming up, and I was going right, got to get all my bits together for Slender Men, because they're all carbon fibre rod. I'll show you actually. Go on, focus on the detail. You can see it's a carbon fibre weave on the rod. A reverse tenon. So there you go. So, no commission work now for over a month while I go steam training through the pipe club. Pipe of the year. I will still be doing this week's pipes, but you know what pipes you'll be getting to look at. Yeah, a lot of Slender Men, which will be interesting. See how they all come out, because they all have plateau rim. So they're all different. I just wanted to do a shout out to was it on, I think it might have been Netflix, a documentary called Remembering Gene Wilder. Which was just an amazing tribute. I loved Gene Wilder as a kid. Well, I still do have a soft spot for Gene Wilder. Like, right the way from... I didn't know the older work until I started with, like, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which always trips me up because the story is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They called it Willy Wonka. But that's obviously how I first knew Gene Wilder. And then later, it was all the, the Richard Pryor collaborations. Don't ask me the names of any of them. But, just watch them all and they were just all wonderful. And it was only then later when I sort of was older and went back and watched things like Young Frankenstein. So the kind of films that I'd missed because I was too young when they came out. Blazing Saddles, like the Mel Brooks films. And the documentary is just a really lovely, warm, heartfelt look back at Gene Wilder. And I don't know how many of you guys appreciated what he did, but if you do, I really suggest checking it out. Obviously, it has quite a sad end, because things that end is sad, but it's still really worth a watch. I recommend it. All right, that's it from me. I will be back, all being well, next week with more pipes. You know what kind. So until then, take it very easy. Your loyal pipe maker.